Thank you. You won't go through.
This is recording stuff outside.
We're going to begin with the public speaking. And the only one? Kevin DeLessa?
Oh, Kevin Deloy, I guess, right?
You're the only Kevin.
There's
There's no other Kevin. You're the only Kevin.
Kevin Deloy. Kevin Deloy, I live in the area, Green Board 10, I live near the office.
Give her the mic.
You don't hear me? I don't need a mic. I'm just going to talk out loud, so no problem. My name is Kevin Deloy, I live in the area. I usually advocate for a lot of safety stuff when I come to the board here to talk. Welcome everybody, hi, how you doing? I want to talk a little bit about 2505 Brooklyn Boulevard. You know, reading some reports, some of it might be hearsay, some of it, you know, not confirmed, but there's going to be a new distribution hub.
Can you grab the mic? Sure.
Hi.
Thank you.
Is that okay? All right, so, you know, the word is that somebody purchased the land, and what they're looking to do is build a large distribution hub, 2 stories. If you know the Whitestone Cinema Complex, and I see, you know, the picture that you see that they're doing right now, it takes up the whole entire parking lot. That's how big the building is. It's supposed to be the largest distribution point on the East Coast if it's built. Now, the problem with that, I think, or something that we all need to be concerned about, and I'd like the board to pay attention to, is that that's going to be a major construction job at the same time as the Unionport Bridge construction. There's only one way in and one way out of that Whitestone Cinema Complex. You don't mind me calling it that. You would be talking probably about hundreds and hundreds of trailers coming in, hundreds and hundreds of trailers, trucks, assorted vehicles coming out. They can't use the hutch. It's, you know, no tractor trailers, no commercial vehicles. The only way down to that would be the Bruckner Service Road. The only way out of that would be the Bruckner to the Unionport Bridge. So I just want to make sure that we're in tune and possibly keep in touch with the DOT, that while they're doing their piece of construction on the Unionport Bridge, that they're meshing with what's going to be going on at the JLL or Omni Company, whatever they're called, at the Whitestone Cinemas. My concern, after we find out if they can get together, make sure things are safe, that the construction is right, they have traffic agents, and that the lights are right when it's all done, is coming up Rush Avenue or the Unionport Bridge will be a bike lane. It'll be a greenway, along with hundreds and hundreds of tractor trailers. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of make a point, and hopefully the board can pay attention. The traffic, municipal, I'm sure economic development will have something to do with it, but we just pay attention to these 2 jobs that are going to be going on in that area. Thank you.
Deb Roth?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Roth. I just wanted to say thank you to whoever was responsible for recruiting our young people to join the community board. As a member of my community, we keep working hard to achieve certain goals. And when time comes that we've done our part and we're a little tired, we keep looking around to see who's going to fill those shoes. So I think the fact that the community board is going to bring someone on young from our community who's going to make decisions for their future community, I just hope that you all take the opportunity to train this person to be a good volunteer, and I wanted to say thank you ahead of time. So thank you so much.
So Mills?
A little old.
Hi everyone, I'm Zoe Mills. I'm with an organization called Lower East Side Ecology Center, and we are hosting an event in this neighborhood on March 17th on Randalls Avenue at Rogers Neck Expressway to recycle your e-waste. you have any televisions or computers or radios, well, the event will be running from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. all day. It's free. We'd love to take your garbage and recycle it responsibly. There are some flyers about it up front if you need any more details. Thank you. Hello,
And
everyone.
Ortiz.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Anderson Ortiz. I am the Bronxborough liaison for the comptroller of the city, Scott Stringer, who's the chief financial officer of the city of New York, responsible for overseeing the city's 5 public pension funds, which is about $190 billion. He's responsible for ensuring the transparency and accountability of city agencies, and ensuring that city agencies and the city government can continue to progress into making our community better. Today I'm here to report on certain things that the comptroller has done. As you know, our office takes care of certain things such as claims, investigations, and audits. A recent audit revealed that there are about 1,007 vacant lots throughout the city that the city owns and are just sitting and not being developed. The comptroller of the city of New York wants to make sure that this vacant lot is used for housing. And we're talking about different type of housing, just not low-income housing, but other type of housing as well. Now, this one, another audit that was done on assessor right. How many people here are familiar with assessor right?
Yes.
Okay. Stress. Yes. I got that a lot in a lot of different board meetings. Well, there was an audit done on assessor right. You see, there was over 21,000 complaints that were filed against assessor right. And over 40% of them went unheard. What does this mean? That the MTA, the New York City Transit, has a system that they're supposed to be following to address these concerns, but they were not appropriately doing so. So the same safety, for example, concerns that were placed were not being addressed. So if there was a driver that was going 80 miles an hour, for example, and put that patient's life in danger, that problem perhaps didn't get addressed, was being repeated again. So what the comptroller of the city of New York wants to make sure is that there is a system, a more cohesive system in place to ensure that these problems do not continue to repeat, that they are addressed within the policy dates and timelines, which were not being properly done before. Locally, we are working with the district manager to handle certain one-on-one cases. The comptroller was here before a few months ago. We would like to visit the neighborhood soon. I have a signing sheet going around. What I have it over there. If you would like to be placed on our email listserv, please sign the signing sheet. Board members, I will put a separate one here in the front. Before I end, I want to give a quick shout out to John Roberts. He probably does not remember. By the age of 12 years old, there was a little boy who was going to Community Board 2 meetings. And by the age of 16, 18, he had 2,000 hours of community service hours. That little boy was me, and I used to talk about John Roberts all the time. Because every single meeting that I went to the community board, he was doing a great job, and he doesn't remember, but I'm here because of people like him. So I'll take any questions. No questions? Great.
The last time the controller was here, I
Yes.
addressed the problem with parking and with cars that are out of state. What are we doing about that? People that live in the neighborhood and have plates that are out of state should be charged double.
Well, that can turn into a legislative issue as well. The comptroller, as you probably know, is only an executive elected official. He does not pass law. The same problem is happening throughout the entire city of New York. And it has to be addressed in different matters, from law enforcement to the legislative aspect. But he is aware of the matter, as you voiced it in the last community board meeting.
So when do we start?
When do we start? Let's start asking the legislators. But absolutely, now I cannot give you a date when do we start, but it's something that should be voiced as well in the city council and the state overall.
That means more money for the city.
It does. You have a good point. Anyone else?
Yeah. How you doing?
Doing all right, so?
Good, good. When you were last installed city
Run it, November post number.
Right, I brought up to Scott that DOT is no longer going to be issuing advance notice when your placards are due for the handicap parking. Just looking at, you know, that's on anywhere.
We have not had a discussion with DOT yet in regards to why they terminated the notices ahead of time. We are familiar with, of course, the leadership of DOT, Eduardo Lopez and his team. But there has to be a very in-depth conversation about that specific aspect because there is a large number of individuals that use this service.
Right, I think it's going to go all the way up to Holly and the mayor because a lot of seniors and those with placards, disability parking, aren't going to remember when they have to renew, and they're going to end up getting summoned by the PD having a violation and not having enough.
You're absolutely right, and I work one-on-one with these type of cases where I actually help some of the senior citizens fill out these applications. Yes, and some of them, even with the notice themselves, still submit some of these paperwork within the deadline or past the deadline. Anyone else? I am going to be rushing out to Community Board 9 meeting. I will be here for the remaining probably 30 more minutes. Thank you.
Carol Altman.
All right, good evening, everyone. How are you? I'm just here from the Quality School. We're a school in Co-op City, and we are trying to spread the word that we've launched a free adult education program that's now in its third year of being successful. Right in Co-op City, Section 5, it's available to the entire Bronx community. We have programs such as a high school diploma program, formerly known as GED, and we partnered with Bronx Community College to provide that. We've received a funding award from the Bronx Borough President of $35,000, which we've used to purchase laptops to offer a variety of basic and intermediate computer skills programs. We're seeking to launch an English-speaking program, and currently we also have some business classes as well. So it's available to the entire Bronx community, and folks usually say, I haven't heard of this. This is like really exciting. So my goal is to spread the word and also seek people that are interested in it. And again, if you're driving over to Co-op and parking is a challenge, part of our program model is that we offer complimentary parking at the Co-op City garage, because parking is really challenging. Questions? Yeah. The Equality Adult Education Program. I'll leave some flyers up at the front. All right, great. Thank you very much.
I don't think I need my hat. I'm going to change my hat for a minute. Gene Lynch from the Never Forget Foundation for many years has had a piece of steel from 9/11 Tower. And we've been trying for a number of years, this community board has been very supportive, to try and get a memorial set up. Well, the unveiling is finally going to happen Saturday, April 7th, and it's going to be at the Redwood Club at 2680 Schurz Avenue. They're looking for some people to make some donations. This has cost several $1,000s, probably around $20, $25 to get it set up, and he's still short about $1,750. So the name of the organization is the Never Forget Foundation. Unfortunately, Gene couldn't be here tonight, so I told him that I would give a little pitch. If anybody's interested, you can find them online, you can talk to me about it, but I'm just so thrilled. And this is going to be the same plaque that, or the same stand, the triangular stand that we presented to this community board. We were trying desperately to find a permanent location, and all of the parks locations were only temporary. All of the city properties were only temporary locations. So we finally found a home. The Redwood Club was kind enough to donate some space. Gene's been really just working so relentlessly on this. And again, it's finally going to happen. So please mark your calendars for April 7th, Saturday at 11 a.m. Come on out, 2680 Scherz Avenue to the Redwood Club and see this beautiful 9/11 memorial. Thank you all.
Robert Kirsten?
Good evening. Hello, my name is Robert Kirsten. I'm a member of Local 3, speaking on behalf of 1,800 families on strike against Spectrum Cable. It's been 11 months. Spectrum's attorney recently had this to say to 1,800 families, who in many cases have lost their homes. He said this, and I quote, "I promise on my mother's grave, you will never get back your retirement and medical plan." That's a quote. We all know someone who's lost medical benefits, work hours, pensions. One person used to bring home enough to provide for their family. Now 2 working people can barely keep themselves out of poverty. To fight back, we'd like to present New York City a plan for minimum standards that any franchise holder will have to agree to. Additionally, we're pushing for a public cable option to end all cable company monopolies. This will ensure better service and lower cable bills for every citizen. We all pay too much. Doesn't matter. You can help support us by telling your family and friends across the nation to cancel Spectrum service if they have another provider. Unfortunately, only 1 out of 5 people have a choice. That's across the country. Tell your elected officials to agree now. The franchise is up in 2020, but now not to renew Spectrum's franchise, which is currently mistreating its workers and its customers. There's been an Attorney General, Schneiderman. He has a lawsuit against them. I don't know if anyone's heard about it. It has to do with speed and it's dated back since 2015. Also, if you could ask your elected officials to help provide a public cable option where cable service is owned by us, the people of New York City, not greedy corporations that disrespect its customers. We have a petition for this initiative, which we'd like to take directly to New York City Council. With recent rule changes on net neutrality and cable company monopolies, there's no telling how much lower the bar will be set for working conditions and customer service, or how much higher the prices will rise. Ask your elected officials to sign this petition supporting a New York City with standards for local net neutrality and a public cable option. Thank you.
Before it became who?
Spectrum was Time Warner.
Time Warner. When they bought them out, didn't a lot of people have any say in this, and government officials, and how did they ever let that go through? And besides that, as I recall, Time Warner had an agreement to rewire Bronx also, because the current almost cable company, I forgot, Optimum, had a monopoly on the Bronx too.
Correct.
That wasn't too good for us. And what's happening to all these officials are supposed to give their, and I think they made a commitment that if they didn't have it all wired by the Bronx by a certain time, they were fined a certain time of money. You know about that?
Yeah, I do know about that, actually.
And why didn't that take effect?
Well-
all these lapses seem like there's a total screw up in the monitoring of the cable companies. Even now, it's all screwed up.
Well, it's regulated by the franchise agreement. Unfortunately, the franchise agreement only pertains to video. It doesn't pertain to internet. That's why we need changes if we're going to go with a franchise agreement. It only pertains to video. So, you see it on your bill and it says franchise fee, it's only for people with video. So a lot of people are cutting the cord now. They're watching Hulu through internet. The city is not getting a piece of that money. They're only getting it from video only. Okay, so, you know, almost 20% of the population now has cut video out totally. Maybe more, it's growing. Okay, that's why we need a municipal broadband run by the city of New York, regulated by the city of New York, for the people of New York. And that's what we're asking for your help with. I will have some petitions in the back you can sign on the way out. I'm going to stay here to the end of the meeting. I got 2 of my associates with me. Is there any other questions? Yes.
I do. Hi.
Hi.
So Natalia, by the way, I'm a Teamster, Brotherhood of Teamster for many years, still in good standing. I support all union efforts. But it would be a good idea to inform us who are our elected officials, what are their positions in this area, in our area, well, we know but exactly what are their positions? Are they supporting you? Are they behind us? Is our senator, our assemblyman, our city council person in this area? And it's important because we run into them at different meetings, different events, and if we have the opportunity, we could advocate for your cause. So what is the position of our elected officials that we have voted for? Are they supporting Local 3 or not? And I do know Local 3 gives a lot of money to all these political action, PAC money, and so on. So we want to know where our local politicians are on this.
Your newly elected one, I think you have quite a few councilmen in this
I'll go
area.
down the list if you want me to go down the list.
Yeah, I think there's
We got Jornai for
Right.
since
I know Vaca agrees and he's come out publicly.
What about Jornai? Is he supporting you?
I don't have the answer.
Assemblyman Benedetto.
Benedetto, yes. You
Klein.
signed. Klein, state assemblyman, are you talking about?
State senator.
State senator, no. Has not come out, has not answered us.
Well, good. So next time we see our state senator,
Thank you.
Klein, we'll mention it.
And this is what I'm asking for you to do for me. And you also have a newly elected assemblyman, right? Assemblywoman, I'm sorry, in this area.
Rob, yeah, sorry.
But thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
I like that call me brother. You see, brotherhood, right? We're sticking together, guys.
James Gilmore? James Gilmore.
Sorry. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Gilmore. Good evening, board members. I'm here to speak against the new... Mike, can you hear me back there? No. Nobody can hear me? Okay. Thank you. 3 minutes. That's not a lot. That's a boxing round. I was asked to come here by Mary J. Massano, who is the president of the Waterbury LaSalle Community Association. I'm a resident of 2920 Haskin Street for over 62 years. The last 8 months on that street have been very blissful. The reason being that the Made in Puerto Rico Lounge at 3363 East Tremont Avenue has not have a liquor license. They are reapplying for a liquor license now. The stories I'm about to tell you of the past 3 years that went on is mind-boggling, astounding, and really sickening. From assaults on the street to when this place empties out at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, there is nothing but chaos. There are women being assaulted and slapped around. At this age of women being mistreated, it's heart-wrenching. If you woke up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and hear screams coming from the street. There's been assaults on the street. Now, I'm not saying this place is, I'm saying the clientele that this place attracts after 10 o'clock at night. They're outsiders from the neighborhood. They come in, they have no disregard for the neighborhood. On Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, you can come up and just look at the street with discarded liquor bottles, beer bottles, used condoms, drug paraphernalia, on and on. I have something that a merchant asked me to bring to this meeting tonight because of an assault that happened in the past. I'd like to turn this over to Bob Beener now, who's the liaison for 42nd Precinct. John Precario, the owner of Bronx Neck Auto, recovered this around the corner by his establishment. These are brass knuckles that I still think are considered a deadly weapon. Bob, if you could please safeguard these and turn these into the 45th Precinct.
These were discovered in what address?
On the Bronx Neck Auto. It's right around the corner from this establishment. About 2 years ago, when a woman was assaulted and came to a neighbor who lives at 2925, Deborah Martinez, who she rendered medical assistance to because the girl was bleeding from the head and she tried to help her out. The disregard as far as parking, and I'm not talking about blocking somebody's driveway over a dispute, I'm talking about blocking fire hydrants. There's 3 fire hydrants on that street. There's one on Edison and Haskin, there's one on Haskin and Tremont, and there's one on Tremont. These are homes and houses that are wood dwellings that are over 150 years old. God forbid that the fire department cannot get to a fire hydrant. 2 minutes in a fire means life and death. These people totally disregard the parking. That always, come Thursday, Friday night, it's blocked. One pulls out, one pulls in, blocking a fire hydrant. The 45th Precinct is probably stretched to the limit on their midnight tour. I don't know how many sector cars they put out. They don't need to be coming to all this. This is only attracting trouble. We talk about preventing. What could be prevented? That what happened? I'm asking you now to try to prevent any future things that are going to happen and occur due to this place getting their liquor license and it's spilling onto the streets. Inside might be orderly. Once outside happens, it's a whole different thing. It's under new ownership. Good. Wish them luck. Yes. Is that it? Well, 3 minutes, I could go on and on and on.
We know. I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
When I turn this over to 4-5, who do they contact if they have additional questions?
They can contact John Precario, the owner of Bronx Neck Auto on Haskin Street.
Precario, P-R-E-C-A-R-O.
He asked me to turn this in and to just show what he recovered after one of these incidents.
Do you have a date when he got these?
Approximately 2 years ago.
Oh, my goodness, okay.
Yeah, he said, listen, he said, here's something that might interest people on land. Well, at least it's gonna be it's gonna be disposed of properly and put in the right hands. And so he safeguarded it so some kid wouldn't pick it up or use it again.
All right, we'll take care of it, thank you.
And that's why I had to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for hearing me, and that's the story. And let's not, please, I don't want to come back and say, I told you so, or be on anybody's conscience. If something horrendous should happen.
Kenneth Bracer?
It's a very volatile situation.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Kenny Bracer. I live at 2929 Haskin Street, right down the block from Mr. Gilmore. Whatever he said is absolutely true, okay? I saw drugs right across my street from my house. My neighbor just put up a new gate. They were just sitting on the stoop at 3 or 4 in the morning. The screaming was horrendous. 311 calls, I call all the time. I'm sure he did also. My brother-in-laws are all police members, all right? I have like 6 of them in my family, and they told me to do it the right way, okay? People parking was horrendous. Girls screaming down the block, running from men, horrendous. I've seen sex in cars at 4 o'clock in the morning when I come home from work. I mean, it's ridiculous. This place shouldn't be here. First and foremost, there's no one in the neighborhood that goes there. This isn't Patty Dougherty's when you used to go up the block, see a giant gate, have a hamburger and a beer, and go home. Okay? This place does not belong in this area. Okay?